So we're here hanging out at REV'N Racing Oil. You know, born from Joe Gibbs Racing, really track tested and performance tuned. You know, they always say you put the motor before the molecule. You guys spend time, you know, looking for problems and coming up with solutions. And, you know, everybody's talking about some of the things you guys have put out for 2016. You're moving so far into additives and things like that that are really useful for so many different applications.
Well, yeah, you know, like I said, our history being motor oil, right? We had all these engine builders, all these performance guys that would come to us about motor oil problems, right? You know, be it, you know, the zinc for the flat tappet engines. I mean, heck, Total Seal piston rings came to us like, we need, you know, braking oil for our piston rings because these guys are using, you know, whatever, and the rings aren't breaking in.
Right.
Okay, we can solve that right here. So again, like you said, we're a solutions-based company, not a marketing hype company. We're about putting the molecule ahead of the motor to make things work, right? And make things happen. It was just kind of a logical evolution that people started coming to us and say, hey man, you solved our problem with the oil. What about this fuel stuff? What do you know about fuel? So we started really digging into it and started learning a lot of things about, like say, with ethanol in the fuel now, right? I mean, all the pump gas anymore has ethanol in it. Well, if you've got a carburetor, that's a problem because carburetors are made out of aluminum, zinc, magnesium, and steel. In the ASTM fuel spec, it says, you know, ethanol blended fuels can corrode things made out of aluminum, zinc, magnesium, and steel. And your carburetor's made out of that.
Right.
You know, so all these guys who have, you know, lawnmowers, weed eaters, you know, 2 strokes or whatever, and the thing won't crank or it'll only crank and run on half choke, there's a reason for that. It's because of the ethanol has done damage to the carburetor, be it gooey deposits, you know, other things. So when we came out with the Carb Defender fuel additive, you know, a year or so ago, it solved that problem. You can put it in, and it basically eliminates any of those fuel-related issues. And this is something I live personally. You know, me and my dad, you know, racers and do go-kart racing, and so they're all old vintage stuff. It's all carbureted.
Right.
We learned this firsthand, and now it's something that, yeah, we make it, we sell it, but man, it's something I believe in like gospel because I've lived it. I know that it solves the problems. And then the next question was, well, okay, you got this stuff for the carburetors. Well, I got a fuel injected car. Is this good for me? What about my fuel injection stuff?
Right.
And you got all these guys running E85 and stuff like that now on the street because it's basically cheap race fuel, right? It's great high octane stuff. But back to the same problems. Now I'm corroding injectors and things like that.
Right.
So you have to have an additive to do that. So we came up with the Injector Defender. So Carb Defender for the carburetors, Injector Defender for the injected engines. You know, it's a fuel stabilizer. It keeps the fuel from going bad. It cleans deposits. It makes the products, it makes the mechanical parts work the way they're supposed to. When you use, you know, Injector Defender or Carb Defender, it gives you that exact level of top tier detergency, plus the storage protection, plus the deposit cleaning, all that kind of great stuff. And then for the guys who are serious enthusiasts, now the car that maybe has, you know, 80% street, 20% track, but the track days are hard, or maybe even more track than that, but you're still running pump gas, we've got the Defender plus the booster that has the octane booster in it. There's a lot of science that goes into it. I mean, I've been very fortunate, extremely blessed to be able to be involved in working with, you know, top NASCAR engine builders for, you know, most of my life, and specifically for the last 11 years, doing nothing but basically chemical development to try to make things better. And man, we've learned some really neat stuff that's very beneficial to the end consumer because we can give them the products they need and the system they need to be able to get the most out of their investment.
I mean, everybody knows you guys are serious about performance, and that performance certainly would translate into longevity of your engines, success on the track, success in every day, getting to work without having to call AAA.
That's really important.
Yeah, Lake Speed. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks,
It's always a great time to see you here at SEMA.
Yes, sir.
REV'N, putting the molecule before the motor. Love it.